Let's try yours again, actually. Do you know what I do? Press a little harder, maybe? You're all set.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, the yeah. Back to the Future. See? Mira. Este güey.
There it is. The flux capacitor is fluxing. That's cool.
It's again, it's had a long day. And it's hot. Come on in.
Thank you.
Let me try this one.
Story, I'm going to be your guide today. But as you guys can see, I'm looking at you. And that means I am not while you are on board. All right, everyone, we are about to leave our theme park behind and head into our active working movie studio. No, we are not quite done with the theme park just yet. In fact, off to the left-hand side of the trail, you'll see some construction going on. This is the latest expansion coming to our theme park. All this construction is leading up to the opening of our newest attraction, the Fast and the Furious presents Hollywood Drift. It's going to be an incredible roller coaster that will be opening up this coming summer, so that you should come back in a couple months to experience that attraction yourself. Now, just around the corner, you're going to get a view of Fire Station 51. This amazing fire station off to the right-hand side of the tram is not a movie set. This is a real working fire station, so say hello to all the incredible firemen that are working at Fire Station 51 today. Now, why do we have a fire station at a movie studio? Well, we are not NBC Universal just turned 100. If you didn't know, our studio, Universal Studios, is part of NBC Universal, and we have been open for 100 years now. We are one of the world's leading entertainment companies. We have Universal Pictures, Focus Features, Peacock, NBC Television, and so much more. We have launched some very famous shows in our history, like The Tonight Show, The Voice, winner Oppenheimer. Off to the left of the tram, though, we've got a little celebrity signing, everyone. I'm talking, of course, about Ted. Woo! Yes, we got some Ted fans aboard the tram, and you should love Ted. He's a very talented bear, the star of the Ted movie series and the Ted TV series, another production that films here on the lot. Now, I've been talking a lot about sound stages, but we do have more than just sound stages here on the front lot. We're coming up on our Hollywood bungalows off to the left-hand side of the tram. These bungalows started their life as dressing rooms for the stars in the golden age of Hollywood, but today, this is where some of Hollywood's best-known production companies have their offices. If you guys rode Despicable Me, Reading Mayhem, or Secret Life of Pets in the Park, those are Illumination Entertainment films, and their offices are headquartered right here in our bungalows off to the left. If you take a good look down to the left, between these two buildings, you might spot a big green wicked balloon. You'll see some familiar wicked.
We're not supposed to have favorite patients, but we do.
I almost don't want him to get better.
Pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse. Wow.
Now, one thing you might have noticed about that clip there is all those scenes are interior scenes, and that's mainly what we have inside of our sound stages. But when a show like St. Dennis Medical needs a shot of their characters outside, then they come out to our back lot, specifically our Metropolitan sets. You get your first glimpse of those off to the right-hand side of the tram. Now, our back lot is where we have big physical sets meant for outdoor filming. And our Metropolitan sets cover over 4 acres of our back lot. Now, St. Dennis Medical films in our Brownstone Street. Off to the right-hand side of the tram, you'll see this big brick and glass building. That plays the St. Dennis Regional Medical Center on the show. Across the park there, you'll see that row of brownstones. Some very famous characters have taken up residence here. One of my favorites is Kevin McAllister from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. This is where they filmed the battle sequence between Kevin McAllister and the Wet Bandits in that amazing holiday movie. But guys, believe it or not, we just traveled through time. I bet you didn't know this tram also doubles as a time machine. We had to do that to get back to the year 1985 so we could enjoy our next destination, which is Courthouse Square. A lot of you on the tram, though, will probably recognize our City Hall a little better as the famous clock tower from Hill Valley from Back to the Future. This area, so we put the City Hall on top of it so it would be a little more anonymous for the other productions that came to film here. Now, this is a primary filming. If your script calls for a big city, maybe the Big Apple, then you come out here to New York Street. Now guys, I am a California girl myself, but we do have a New York expert on the tram. I'm talking about my co-host, Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there. An old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Yeah, it's cool guys. I was just, just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life, and it's great to have you along for the ride. We're about to return to Sky Island.
Now before we head of these windows, you will see that inside of most of these buildings there is. Now this wall may not look very convincing as we're driving past it here today, but our cameras only see in 2D. So if you set a movie camera facing this big painted wall, it does look on the camera's lens like a row of real buildings.
Thou shalt rise again.
You'll see him up on your screens doing this entire mural by hand. Now, Tristan Eaton is a big fan of our monster movies, and so are we. These are the first movies to be really big successes for our studio, and we owe the success of our studio to this day to these classic creature features. Plan to retrieve any dropped items, so hold on tight to many of your valuables. Now, just like you saw outside, we have a lot of lighting equipment and a lot of other pieces of technical equipment here in this soundstage. This is all the glamorous, the unglamorous side of Hollywood that you don't normally get to see, but, everyone wants to experience a little bit of a California earthquake. All right, this one's intense. You did it, hold on tight. We have been through a lot together on our tour so far. We just survived an earthquake. I think it's time that we do something a little bit more relaxing. We're gonna go to the beach. Now it is the beaches of Amity Island, but don't worry everyone. I can promise you we have taken care of the little shark problem that we are having here in Amity Island. As you can see, we have caught the shark. He is hanging over the dock. Hey George, how's it going? The water is looking amazing. It's gonna be a nice day out there. Oh, I think I spoke too soon. It looks like there's a second shark out there. Hey, George. George, if you hear me, you have to get out of the water. There's a second shark headed right for you. George, what are you doing? Get out of the water. Get in the boat. George, swim. Start swimming. Swim as fast as you can. Oh, no. Oh, I think it's too late for poor George. What a shame. You know, he had so much guts to be out there in shark-infested waters. Oh, there's his guts now. Okay, don't worry, everyone. We have a plan. There is a barrel full of shark bait tied to the dock. So hopefully the shark will just take the bait and forget all about us. But just in case, we all need to remain seated and hide. Backstroke. Very impressive. Now guys, this Bruce is not named after Bruce from Finding Nemo. The Bruce from Finding Nemo was named after the original prop shark used on the set of Steven Spielberg's Jaws back in the 1970s. This is one of the most famous streets you're going to find anywhere in Hollywood. These homes have been in countless productions. And I'm just going to point out a few of my favorites. This big purple Victorian mansion here on the corner off to the left of the tram played 1313 Mockingbird Lane in the sitcom The Munsters. Right next door, this yellow house, this was Davy's house in Netflix's Never Have I Ever. But most audiences are still probably going to recognize this area the best as the home of the Desperate Housewives, because this area played Wisteria Lane for all 8 seasons of that show. Now, if you guys have seen Desperate Housewives, you'll know that a lot of crazy stuff happens in Wisteria Lane, and they really put this area through a lot while they were filming here. In fact, this house right behind me was a new addition for Desperate Housewives. The structure that was here before was actually blown up on camera for Desperate Housewives. They set some of our other houses on fire. They landed a plane in the middle of the street. There was hurricanes and all sorts of wreckage that happened to these homes. And that's why, unlike our chicken ranch, all the homes you'll find here on Colonial Street are also facades. Once you go through the front door, there is nothing inside these homes. We build it that way so that our productions can do whatever they want to the houses, just like Desperate Housewives did. Now, we make a lot of commercials on this street as well. Coming up off to the left of the tram, you'll see a brown house. This was the Ace Hardware home for most of their commercial campaigns. This was also where Beyonce set up her lemonade stand in her Super Bowl commercial a couple years ago. Now, a very famous comedy film that shot here is The Burbs, that stars Tom Hanks, that was shot here back in the 80s. But they just revitalized The Burbs and they made a TV series based off of it. And that one stars Keke Palmer, Secrets. Off to the right, we have Biff Tannen's classic convertible from Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2. Back off to the left, we have several vehicles from the most famous car film franchise of all time, The Fast and the Furious. Here, because we are turning the corner into a real crime scene. All these cars are parked behind Hollywood's most infamous motel. This is the Bates Motel from Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller film Psycho. Now, this motel is not only terrifying, but it's very historically significant for the horror movie genre. This is the birthplace of the slasher film. Psycho was the first film to show up-close shots of violence or gore on screen, and because that movie was so popular, it inspired many others like it. So if you're a fan of big horror movie film franchises like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Scream, just to name a few, all those films were inspired by Alfred Hitchcock and Psycho. Now, coming up on the top of the hill, we have the Bates house. This is where Norman Bates lives with his beloved mother. And legend has it that you can still see Mother rocking back and forth in the second-story window of this very scary house. Now, we're saying goodbye to Norman and his mother, and we are saying hello to one of the largest practical sets ever constructed for a motion picture. This is by the production designer for the film, Rick Carter.
The airplane that crashed the sunset is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steve had.
When you first began to sit down and talk about war and world, I thought, what if the 747 goes down the light in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You got something. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now closed.
Magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an undertown lies a sinister secret. Smack dab in the center of the
like to thank you all so much for joining us here on the world famous studio tour.